Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our urban worm bag version 2 that has the European night crawlers. Now, I have been doing some fairly massive feedings with this where I feed the entire top layer and then cover it with cardboard. And this last time I did it was the second time in a row I'd done it, and I'm hoping that they've gone through all the food again that we added. And I was adding two containers like this, two massive containers of food, and they were eating it all. So we're coming in a little bit short this time. Instead of the 4 weeks we did, we're going to come in at 3 weeks and take a look and see if they've moved through all of this food. Now remember, we're feeding the entire surface, so there's a lot of surface area for them to work into, and there's a lot of place for the microbes to be for them to just kind of come up into the food and eat it. So I'm hoping that they will have been able to go through everything that I added in last time within that amount of time of 3 weeks. But if not, we'll maybe add one container this time, but we're still going to add food. Now, if they've finished everything, which I'd be kind of surprised, we're going to add even more food because it shows that they need more food to chew on. So I've got two of these containers, which is what we added last time, and another little container here too, like this, just to add a little bit extra in there. So I'm hoping that they've really moved through this food. This is the way these bins are supposed to be used, or these bag systems, where you just keep doing top feedings, you just keep adding material on top. And then probably in another month, we'll need to harvest from the bottom again. And that's the way these are supposed to work, is you just keep filling up the top and then you harvest the bottom, and fill up the top and you harvest the bottom. And these work really, really well when you do it that way. I've been doing spot feedings where I feed on different sections, and having all the food clumped together kind of, makes it a nice place for heat to generate, but also can be hard for the microbes to get in. They kind of work their way out from the outside, and they might not be in the center right away as everything sort of melts together, as it does. So with that, let's take a look at the system. Let's see how it's doing, and hopefully we can put it in another massive feeding and another layer of cardboard. Let's get to it. All right, so here's our urban worm bag. This is, again, version 2 with the European night crawlers, and it's been 22 days. I said 3 weeks, but it's actually been 22 days exactly since our last update. First off, no moisture on the lid here. Not seeing any bugs either, which is a good sign. We still have our little fruit fly trap in here. It doesn't look like there's anything in here. I might actually just take this out completely. I don't think it's needed anymore, which is great. I did see a couple of worms escape the surface there. And let's just zoom in here just a little bit there. No reason to be so far away. And we got my glove here. Let's just take a look here. So on the surface, so far I do see castings. I'm sure you can see them here. But I do see some castings on the surface. It looks a little dry, but not too bad. Let's just dig in here a little bit, and let's just take a look at what's going on under this first layer. First off, piece of food right there. We've got a banana peel that's left over. Let's just kind of peel away this layer of cardboard and see what's left. And look at this. Looks like almost all of this is gone. Okay, we've got some avocado shell there. That takes a while to break down. Avocado seed, that also takes a while to break down. I'm not seeing anything else. Oh, here we go, coffee grounds. Those seem to be taking a little longer, especially when the packages are bundled up like that. So we'll just go ahead and spread that out. There's another thing of coffee grounds. So again, these do better when they're kind of spread out in there instead of so clumped together. Another banana peel here at just the tip of it. Those take a while to break down too, since they're kind of woody. Let's just dig down just a little bit here. You can see, just look how nice this material looks. You can see the worms in here crawling around. This is looking really, really good. By the way, that's also a mango seed right there. So, but the worms look nice and healthy. But we're running out of food in here, it looks like. Surprisingly, here's another thing of coffee grounds. These I really do wish that I should maybe get better about opening them up of when I put them in the freezer. Let's just see what's on this side now. Again, lots of worms. I see moving around here another piece of coffee. Let's just take a look in here. I mean, look at this. Same thing, very healthy microbial activity. I'm not seeing a whole lot of, I see some potworms in the coffee grounds like right over here. I don't know if you can see those or not. But other than that, really, really healthy worms are crawling away here on my arm. They just look really, really healthy. Let's just keep going a little bit more. Can you see that backside? Barely. Okay. So right over here, let's just go ahead and dig down again. Again, avocado shell. These things take forever to break down, and so do these seeds, but it looks like it's at least on its way. No, not much food left in here. They did a really good job on this. They've really kind of cleared this out within the time frame that this 22-day time frame. You can see the nice healthy population of worms. They're all within this main surface level right here. So we're going to go ahead and spread all this back out. Another thing of coffee grounds. Those coffee grounds, they love them once they're opened up, but when you have got these bags over them, they take a while to break down. So we're going to go ahead and spread this back out. Make sure there's no worms really on the surface here, and we're going to go ahead and do another large feeding. Now this looks a little bit dry, so before I do that, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a little bit of water on here just to moisten up this surface. I'm not going to be putting a whole lot on here. Just want to get it moist before I add on all the food. Hopefully get any worms to dive down in here. So I've got my sprayer. As I said, I'm going to be adding water with the cardboard that we added to this too on the top. As you can see, there's still a lot of cardboard on here too, so no shortage of bedding material, but let's just kind of saturate all this down a little bit. And actually we can switch this up a little bit. So we're gonna saturate this down and just put a couple more pumps in here. So add a little bit more moisture in here, and then I think what we're going to do is we're going to add our crushed eggshell on the bottom and then put the food on. So, and we are going to add extra food this time because they ate basically all of it. So let me grab this crushed crab and eggshell here. I'm going to add this down here on this wet surface. I do like adding this to my bins very frequently. This is the grit that the worms use, for those that don't know. And now we're going to add a ton of food. So first thing, we're going to add this little container right here. And again, more coffee grounds in there, tea grounds. Now this container has something that does break down in bins. I know it does, but it does take a long time, and this might be the first thing that really stays in here for a while, and that is corn on the cob. This is part of the reason I'm using 2 bins here, is this one's not very full. I'm going to go ahead and dump that in there. Again, I got some tea in there as well, some tea leaves. And now here's the real full one that I was showing in the video in the beginning, and this is right here. We've got some more avocado, clementine, more coffee grounds, banana, and of course, as you can see right there, the tea leaves as well. We're going to go ahead and add that in as well. Make sure we get all this stuff in there. There we go. There we go. I think we got everything in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my glove again. I'm going to spread all of this out into a nice layer on the surface. Gotta move this around. Kind of move these corn cobs around too. No reason to have them all in one spot. And worms do like corn cobs, I've found, but they do take a while to break down. This is the part right here we really need to break apart. Some apple. Again, coffee grounds. I really should. I'm gonna have to make sure when I freeze these that I open them up a little bit more. Maybe I can rip these off. Maybe that's what I can do here. I can just kind of rip them apart, rip the paper off them, because the paper just takes longer to break down than the coffee does inside, I think. There we go. So that's nice and ripped apart. We've got a couple grapes in here. Grapes, I have found, by the way, do kind of ferment a little bit sometimes in bins. You can get a little bit of an odor from them, just so you know. All right, here's another coffee ground thing with I'm going to kind of peel that back a little bit too. Oh, this one's at least more open than the other ones were, I feel. And banana peels, and another thing of coffee grounds. Now, just see if we can rip that open just a little bit. There we go. We got that side open. Put that over here. Just trying to spread these out a little bit so not everything's in the same area, all the food types. They can kind of go around to different areas in the system. See if we can rip this one off open a little bit too. Not so much on this one. Just a little bit. Okay, we'll put that one right over there. And this one right here in the middle. There we go. So we've got a nice little layer of food here, just as we did in the past. And now it's time to add some paper. So again, I'm doing buckets of paper. So this is a big container of paper here, and I'm going to dump in some water. Now this is my bucket of water with BTI mix. So as you can see right here, I'm just going to go ahead and dump some of this in. Oops, I didn't mean to dump the Dunks tablet in, but I'll grab that out in just a second here. But just a little bit of water. Actually, let me just dump all the water in here. I think this bucket's almost empty, and I'm not too worried about adding too much water to this system right now. It wasn't too wet, I felt. And I'll refill this bucket afterwards. So let me go ahead and grab that Dunks tablet out of there. Take that out. Put that back in the bucket. And now, as you can see, or maybe not, but there's water floating around in the bottom here. And I've got to kind of mix it up. Make sure that it gets on all the cardboard over here. And then we're going to go ahead and dump all this in. And luckily there's a lot of cardboard in here. I filled this entire container up with cardboard. And that's the way I've been really working this really well with that. And it seems to be doing a good job. Although I do wish they were eating a little bit more cardboard. That's quite alright. You know, it is what it is. I can't do anything about that. Alright, let's just see. How much water do we have in there? We still got some water, but that's alright. We're going to start taking out some of the paper. You can hear that it's wet. Nicely saturated. And between that and the water that we added on top of the other food items and the other paper, there's a worm up there. Let's just get him down there. Hopefully this will be nice and moist for them, because it was starting to dry out a little bit, I felt. All right, can dump the rest of this in. There's just a little bit of water in there. That should be okay. And these bag systems can leak through. If you're worried about that, add something underneath, like a busboy tin or a tote of some sort that can hold the water. But I'm not too worried about this one. This one looks like it can hold a little bit more water than what was in there originally. But it does leak out, especially if you use watermelon or something like that. You can get a lot of water leaking out pretty quick. So just a warning to everyone that buys them. They can leak. Not a big deal. Just got to put something underneath it if you have it in your house. So there we go. That's pretty much empty. And now what we're going to do is just sort of spread this around in a nice, even manner. Kind of cover everything just a little bit so the worms have somewhere to go and dig into. And that's about it. Now, I see a little bug there. Hopefully nothing flew in there. I think I will put my little trap back in here, although I don't know if it's really doing much. It's almost empty now. But I'll put this little trap back in here in this corner right over here, just to keep it going. And that's my update for this this 22-day update on this system. It's looking really, really good. We put in a little bit more food, some food that might be a little harder to break down. Of course, avocado shells and mango seeds take a while as well, but those corn cobs might take even longer. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you have any thoughts on this system and how it's going, this seems to be doing really, really well this way, and I'm really impressed with this urban worm bag and how it's handling everything. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And thank you for watching.